Hello everyone, it's Kev from the newrichlifecoach.com and onlinearbitragemastery.com. I want to welcome you to a very, very special video today because I wanted to take a moment to share with you guys. This is going to be a bit of a longer video. I'm going to share with you guys how to start an online arbitrage business and a real world example being me. The reason why I wanted to do this is because it's been a hell of a journey for me and my family. It's been such a whirlwind of a journey that I'm so grateful for, and I really, really appreciate it. And I know that in this video, you guys will be able to benefit from some of the experiences that I've had. I know that you guys will be, I'm convinced you guys will be inspired by this journey, because the truth is, wherever you find yourself, whether that's in a job, whether you've got a business already, whether you've got a business that you're hands-on, or even if you are not in any of those scenarios, even if you've got a business already and you are at a point where things are going great for you, that's awesome. But just from a business point of view, I really, I don't want to blow too much smoke up my own trumpet, as they say, but it's important to really have a moment and look back on your journey. And I hope you guys do the same. Wherever you are right now, whether it's your job, whether it's your own business, I hope you've been capturing it, because that's what it's all about. Because at the end of the day, you strip everything back. All you've got is your memories. You've got your memories, you've got your photos, you've got your family, you've got your friends. And if you are on a journey right now, if you are building something right now, or just on a journey of progress, please capture it, because I'm so grateful that I've been able to capture this journey. I'm so grateful that I've been able to share this journey, and I'm really excited to basically get into this now, a real world example on how to start an online arbitrage business. And it's me that I'm going to be. I share everything in my life already, so this is probably no different. But I'm really, you're going to see some photos which I'm really happy to be talking about. So let's get to it. So it all started for me just prior to June 2015. You can see there on the picture on the left-hand side there, I'm an electrical engineer by trade. I started an apprenticeship in 2006, and 2010, after coming out of the apprenticeship, I was an electrician, and I thought my journey, my natural progression would be to become an electrical engineer. So I worked from 2010 to 2014/15 working towards an electrical engineer, and I'm so proud to basically say in the December of 2014 I was made an electrical engineer. I'm really proud of that. I just got my first class degree, and I thought my journey was set. I genuinely did. I thought, this is it, I'm on a path now. I want to become a plant engineer. I want to travel to oil rigs, and I want to do all these things. And what happened to me was it was like a light switch. It was like a real moment in time of inspiration. And that's the only thing I can really say. Like, I think people either change on desperation or inspiration. If you are down in the dumps, if you are struggling in any area of your life, whether it's let's have a fitness point of view, like maybe a health point of view. If you are maybe overweight and you continue down that path, there will become a moment where there's a light switch, where you think enough is enough. I've had it. I'm moving on. I'm going. And I believe that there was a mixture between desperation and inspiration for me. I think what happened with me was, over the period of the 6 months being an electrical engineer, I found myself stuck at my desk. I was doing all I can. I was I was getting snowed under with paperwork. I've got paperwork everywhere. I've got phone calls all the time. And I was thriving upon that. I'm not at all suggesting I didn't like that, because it was like, that's what it was all about for me. I'm young, I'm an engineer, I want to make a difference. But what I found in such a short period of time is it doesn't matter how much you really, really try your best when you're working for someone else. There's always, they want something else from you. And I guess I'm sure you guys can relate. So what happened then was I was introduced to a person called Jim Rohn. And if you guys do not know Jim Rohn, he was such an inspirational. It was such an inspirational moment in my life, and I actually have a blog post on newrichlifecoach.com the day. Well, I pretty much copied what Jim Rohn said. The day everything changed for me, the day I was inspired, the day I said I've had it, and it was actually the 13th of May of 2015, because that's when I first listened to Jim Rohn, and I was so inspired by him, and I realized the seeds that had been planted in my mind stemmed back from a couple of years ago when I was in Mallorca with some family, and I'm really I've got obviously, like you guys, I'm very, very grateful, and I've got an amazing and special family, and a family member. Some family members, they have a villa out in Mallorca, and they've got a boat, they've got a yacht. You can see on the picture on the right there, I've got my yacht. We were on their yacht and we were talking. I've actually got a picture on my vision board at the office. I might have to talk to you about that one day. And I was so inspired by the conversation I had with basically my partner's uncle about how he started in business, and I was really, really inspired by it. And I think that seed started to grow. So at this point, when I started hearing Jim Rohn and talking to his YouTube, just go onto YouTube and you can really listen to him. You can get inspired by him, because the way he talks, it's incredible, honestly. So from that moment on, June 2015, I was all in. I was all in with Jim Rohn. I was all in with personal development. I wanted to improve myself, and I come across the concept of vision boards, and I was so inspired by I could have a picture on the wall of what I envision in my mind that I could one day have, like a house, a boat, a yacht, a car, and all these inspirational quotes that all of a sudden in the self-improvement world I was introduced to, that it was so inspiring for me. And you can see I was inspired. I was cutting out pieces of paper. I was sticking them on my wall. As you can see, my partner Kylie, at first she was not best pleased with me sticking stuff on the wall, but I loved it, and I was so open to Jim Rohn's quote, "Profit is better than wages." I thought to myself, it makes so much sense, because he said, "Profit is better than wages," and he then continued to say that wages will make you a living, profit will make you a fortune. And I was inspired, and I looked towards something that I could do to make some profit, because he said, whatever you touch, leave a profit. Whatever you do, leave a profit. It doesn't have to mean money profit. It could just mean talking to somebody. It could just inspiring somebody. If you are watching this and you are feeling inspired, that's me leaving a profit for you. He was saying stuff like, go to the bookstore and buy it and get a book and then sell it for a profit because you've had it. He said, buy a journal, write some information about it, and then sell it for a profit. He was just making all these little examples, and he was saying, buy a car and leave it and sell it for more money than you paid for it. And that really started to open my mind to the potential of making profit from products and selling things. And what basically happened was I started, this is no joke, this is honest truth. I've still got the history on my eBay account. I started going to stores, finding products. I started with like porcelain little there was like porcelain little birds, like sparrows and things like that. And I was like, these are really collectible. I was buying them for like 50p a pound, and let's put them onto eBay. You know, somebody somewhere will be collecting these. Had like a watermark, it had like dates and all the rest of it. I actually purchased a light tent. They exist, a light tent from Amazon at the time, and I put them all in there, took pictures, put it on eBay, and I was so amazed that I was selling these birds that I was purchasing for like £1, and I was selling them for like £8, £9, £10. It was incredible, and I actually had a bit of a not a contest. Well, I guess it was a contest with my family saying who can make the most profit. It was like one of those things. It was like an apprentice type thing. It was like who can make the most profit, and I won. Thank you very much. But that's how it all started for me, guys. And then that really opened me up to reach out to where can I do this? What can I do? And the only reason why I decided to go for Amazon is because of the FBA program. You know, I could outsource 50% of the entire business to Amazon, because I was thinking I was selling these birds, which is such a buzz, but I was like, I'm having to go to the post office. I'm having to go to, just to post the product to the customer, and then I would then be responsible for the condition of that product, and if it went lost in the post, I would be responsible, and all the rest of it. And I thought, FBA, wow, Fulfillment by Amazon, they take care of all that. They take responsibility. It was amazing. So I started my account, and I started, it was about the 9th of June, and it was actually the 13th of June where I made my first sale. That period of time, it had to obviously travel to the fulfillment center, and I made my first sale 9th of June. It was incredible. So that was it, really. Then going into July, I was introduced to Tony Robbins. I learned that Jim Rohn mentored a person called Tony Robbins. You know, at the time I was like, who the hell's Tony Robbins? Anthony Robbins? No idea. And I was inspired by this guy as well. And he was talking, take massive action. Massive action equals massive success. And I was in the personal development space then. I was in the world then. I was like, right, I'm going to read, I'm going to journal, I'm going to read the success principles. You can see the success principles there with principle 1 to 5. Take 100% responsibility for your life. Be clear why you're here. Decide what you want. Believe it's possible, and believe in yourself. I was like, I printed these out and I typed them all up and I put them on my wall again, and I was taking responsibility. I was like, I'm responsible for my life. Whatever situation I find myself in, I was getting called out at night being an engineer. I was like, I'm responsible and I've got to make a difference. I've got to take responsibility and then be focused on what do I actually want? Where do I want to be happy, be fulfilled in my life? And I came to, I'm not happy when I'm away from my family. Just like you guys, you're the happiest times with your friends and your family. And I thought, how can I design a life that will allow me to do that? And I thought, Amazon seller, that's taking massive action. You can see my kitchen now. I was like buying stuff. I was boxing stuff. I wasn't bothered. I was taking huge amount of action because I knew what I wanted. I believed it was possible, and I believed in myself. And I had this motivation inside me that was so incredible. I can't describe it to you. The only way you would know is if you ever felt this yourself. I was up in the morning. It was like Christmas morning every day. I was up in the morning. What can I do? What can I find? What can I put in my mind to give me more energy and more motivation? So it was really that from that moment on, I started taking massive action. And I can't tell you how inspired I was. I know I've said it a couple of times now, but I was so inspired to start taking action. And I was getting some profit. I was making some profit. It was unbelievable. I was like, profit is better than wages, because I was snowballing. I was creating this snowball that was just getting bigger and bigger. So I was so motivated and inspired. So 2015 August, I learnt in a very, very real way that you've got to somehow transfer to working on the business, not in it. Because in 2015 August, I went on holiday to Morzine, France, a lovely, lovely place, a mountain range, and I was you can tell I was so inspired throughout all this period, but I was on holiday making sales. I was like, how is this possible? And that's why I was like, wow, like 50% of my business at Amazon was still operating, it was still working, it was real. I was like making sales and I was in France. It was incredible. I was living a laptop lifestyle. I had the internet over there. I could still reply to customers. I could still check what's going on with my prices and all the rest of it, my sales. It was incredible. And throughout that 2-week period, I made, if I remember rightly, I think I made, it was just over 10 or just over £11,000 worth of sales while I was on holiday. Could you imagine? That's why I felt like I was on top of the world with my son and looking over the mountain range. I was like, this is awesome. This is amazing. Apart from, I realized that the other 50% of my business, the sourcing, the review, all this, and purchasing and packing and all the rest of it, just stopped immediately. Like, it just come to a dead end. I couldn't do anything from France. I didn't have a prep service or anything like that. So everything just stopped. So although my sales dropped throughout that period of time, it really opened my eyes to the fact that I need to be working on a business. I need to read some books. So I read Work the System and E-Myth Revisited. Just check them out on Google. And I was really inspired about not being an operator anymore. I needed to start building a system that allowed me to extract from the business. Hence, I turned to virtual assistants and automation, outsourcing. In 2000 August, it was when I first got my first VA. It was then when I realized I still need to source while I'm on holiday. I still need to send stuff while I'm on holiday. And that was when the seed really started to blossom a little bit, because I was like, I need to use virtual assistants to do the sourcing and all the heavy lifting for me. So September, after getting back from holiday and after getting to know the virtual assistant and going through some training, a real intense training session with the virtual assistant every day, working together, I was all in. I was absolutely all in. And we transferred our living room space. As you can see, I had boxes, I had the table, I had notepads, I had inspirational quotes, I had my family involved. I was looking for products everywhere that I could put my hands on them and make a profit. And that was it. I was still working full time, bearing in mind. I was up in the morning. I was coming home from dinner. I was eating while purchasing. I was sending the products to the UPS drop-off point. I was loving life. I'm not gonna lie. I absolutely loved life, and my sales were ramping up. This was the start of Q4. I was so excited that I could work full time. And in fact, it was this moment in September I began to realize, hang on a minute, I planted another seed. I thought, hang on a minute, if I can make these sales while I'm working full time and I'm getting called out as an electrical engineer and I'm still having to work on my job and all the rest of it, what can I do if I was full time working for myself? What could I do if it was profit now coming towards me? I was all in. I sold it to my son. My son was like, I'm in, I want to help. My partner, Kylie, it was all about the reasons. You know, she was off maternity, but her time was running out. She was having to go back to work. Hairdresser, very, very little paid. Like, I really, really respect hairdressers for the amount of work that they do. And I believe they're not respected in pay. The amount of work that they do, they're standing up on their feet all day long. And I just didn't want it for Kylie. Like, we'd been together 9 years at this point. We're going to get married. We're engaged at this point. And I was like, do you know what? We need to do something different. We need to come together. So I was all in. It was time. It was every single day and night. Massive action. So as you can see, in November, I was like, whoa, it's getting busy. I'm trying to... you can see there's a picture there on the right hand side. Kev eat me, love you lots, mummy Harps, and Harps, which is my daughter. I was coming home from dinner. I had no time. It was like I need to. This is terrible for me to say, but I was like I only had half an hour time slot, so it was like I couldn't like cook myself like real nice healthy dinner. It was like microwave chips, pie, and then I'd go into the living room, products out everywhere, my table covered, my table's completely covered with products and receipts and laptop, and I was eating, typing, sourcing, communicating, emailing. Oh, it was insane. It really, really was insane. But the thing is, for me, I could see it was starting to take off, and my sales at this point doubled from the previous month. They doubled in the previous month. I was like, holy cow. It's like, oh my God. Like, I'm still part-time. I've actually just broken my sales in 1 month than I was getting paid in 1 year. It was like, what the hell is going on here? Like, it's starting to take off. I'm all in. Unbelievable. And that was it. If you want to take on the island, burn your boats. I handed in my notice at work, and we was in. December the 9th, 2015, I handed in my notice, and that was it. Within 6 months, from June to December, believing in myself, believing it was possible, buying the product, selling the product, buying the product, selling the product, filling in my living room, Christmas tree, get out the way. I've got products to sell. I've got a six. Well, she was nearly a year by this point, but Kylie was in. I'd purchased Kylie a laptop, and we were starting to operate. We were starting to go for it. By this point, I had 2 virtual assistants. I was investing in the business. I was snowballing. The whole living room covered in products. I was extending. I was expanding from toys to kitchen. I was any product. I was looking for it, guys. And if you want to take on the island, burn your boats, because if you do burn your boats, there's no going back. You can't just then get back on your boat. So this was from Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins was in my mind thinking, if I don't burn my boats, then I can always go back to the job. I kept on thinking to myself, if it all falls through, I've got my job. If it all falls through, get my job. But that is, without you knowing, is really starting to play in your mind, because then you feel like you can just take a break. You feel like you can just have a 3 lines this week instead of just the 1. So I burnt my boats, handed in my notice. People were shocked. I'm not going to lie. It was a really tough time for me. It, like, from a work point of view, because this is, you've got to think that I worked so hard to become an engineer, and within a year of being an engineer, I packed it all in. I was working to become an incorporated engineer. I was having meetings with my mentors. My plant engineer was giving me more and more responsibility. They could see a progress for me. They saw a path for me. And at that moment, the 9th of December, after writing the letter, my notice, I finally handed it in. And it was an emotional time for me. But once I did, it was such a weight off my shoulder. I was like burning. I was burning at so many ends, guys. It wasn't just like a candle at one end. I was burning at the side. I was burning at the bottom. My relationship with Kylie was just business. My relationship with my family was just family. It was just like, get home, I've got to work, guys. Sorry, Theo. Sorry, Hap. I've got to work, guys. I've got to work. And it just can't go on. So I handed in my notice. That was it. So there we go. The end was just the beginning. It was like I'd just come out of Q4 completely and utterly amazed that we had just broken over. Our sales were ramping. We were in the 5-digit mark, 6-digit mark. Holy moly, it was. We was above the 100K mark in terms of sales. I was like, wow, this is incredible. You can see on the right hand side there, that was my flag, my checkered flag from at work. And then we realised we need to be serious. This is a serious business. So you can see I spent a Saturday night, I was starting to build the office. The office was just in our living room or dining room, whichever one you want to call it. And we were starting to be serious. You can see my vision board started to expand even more. And I had a goals workshop, starting to get 2 laptops, 2 chairs, a real like proper work printer, file shelving. Oh god, it was a proper business, guys, in our living room. But it was just the beginning. It was freedom. I can't tell you how much freedom. The freedom of time means so much more, and I invested so much into my business at this point. At the end of December, I went into 2016 with 2 virtual assistants. At the beginning of January, I invested in another 2 virtual assistants, which made 4. But I then realised I was starting to become busy reviewing and managing these people, and I took on a virtual assistant reviewer, like a team leader, who I would then give all this guidance to. So I hope you can start to see that. Back in August, when I went on holiday, 50% was working and not the other 50%. And then I was starting to take care of the first 50%. You know, it was that's what I was working on. I was thinking, right, I still need to source, I still need to purchase, I still need to do all these things. So what can I do? I need to start to set up systems that will allow us to operate without me. And in that way, you have to invest in your business. Virtual assistants, employees, warehouse processors. But obviously at this time, I didn't have a warehouse. We were still at home. 4 months went past and I was working, like Rihanna would say, work. And I had the opportunity, well, one of my friends was like, you need to go to Unleash the Power Within, Tony Robbins. I was such a Tony Robbins fan at this point. I need to go to Tony Robbins, and really, you can actually see I was a bit overweight. I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit porky like. But I went to Unleash the Power Within. I invested in. It was like a £600 ticket. I went over to London, really happy, and I went, and it was the most eye-opening experience ever. You know, I was on such a high leaving my job, and then it was like loving life. Oh my God, I'm going to Tony Robbins, Unleash the Power Within, UPW, let me know what it's about. I can walk through fire, I'm unstoppable. How can I be the ultimate best, peak state and everything? And I'm 4 days of carnage. I was like on top of the world. If I thought I could get any higher, I was wrong. Because Unleash the Power Within, it allowed me to understand what makes me tick, how to get the best out of me, how I can work on peak state, be energetic, working every day, get up, be focused on my outcomes, work out a massive action plan. And I was a firewalker. You can go have a look on my YouTube channel, go back to the beginning and have a look at the review I did. Oh, it was amazing, guys. Honestly, wow. It was incredible. And in May, I was free. I was absolutely free. I was there with the family. I was loving life. I could go play golf with my friends. At this point now in my business, I had it was a 5-month period of training my reviewer, and we were starting to work on implement systems in terms of team performance, team management, infantry health. All the things that I teach in the course, Online Arbitrage Mastering, was allowing me to become free and have all this time. I was like, whoa, my business is still operating and I'm there playing golf on the green, although it was a bit cloudy that day. I was like, this is it. This is real. this is a real life example of me. I was like, this is actually happening to me and my family. I was freedom. Freedom is so much more valuable than money. Without a shadow of a doubt, I'm sat here right now talking to you guys, and it is 10 past 10 in the morning. 10 past 10 in the morning on a Tuesday. I'm here because I can. I've got my whole team now operating without me. It's like I'm free, and I was loving life. But I realised that Q4, like now, is round the corner. I need to invest more, so I got another 2 virtual assistants, but I couldn't overrun my reviewer, so I got another reviewer. I was investing heavily in this business. I really, really was. And it was really starting to pay off. Freedom, like I said, freedom is worth so much more. You know, if you could pay yourself, if you could take a pay cut, but be completely free, would you do it? Of course you would. And we were starting to expand. We were starting to get so big, our entire living room was covered. If you want to check out the Our Year in Photos video, that's on the sales pitch for onlinearbitragemastery.com, we were starting to outgrow our house. So we needed a warehouse. Like, that was just, you see a picture there of 12 boxes. That was just a normal Tuesday. That's how big we're getting. We weren't just doing like a 10 unit shipment anymore. We were doing a 400 unit shipment, and we were doing, you know, we were getting towards 900 units a week sent to Amazon. Our sales were ramping up. We were selling not just 10 units a day. We started to sell 30, 40, 50 units a day, touching 100 units a day. And now we're over 100, reaching 150, 200 units per day selling. It's unbelievable, the journey that we've had, but we couldn't do this ourselves. We had to invest in virtual assistants. Now have a warehouse operator. We now have a warehouse team leader, who's still Kylie at the time. And in 2017, it's going to grow so much more, and I can't wait to keep sharing it. I really, really can't. August, I went through a program called Create Lasting Change. I actually went on holiday so it's been a year since the Marzine holiday, and I went on holiday to, bloody hell, what's it called now? It was some cabins. I'm trying to think. It was in the UK. My mind's gone blank. It was like Lancaster. I want to say Lancaster, but it wasn't. It was in the Midlands anyway. A lovely wooden cabin. I put a blog post up. I've actually got a video blog on it as well. The 3 benefits of having an online business and just the freedom of time. And I went through this Create Lasting Change program where I could start to influence other people and learn how I could coach people and contribute to people, because I found myself now free, and I turned to my passions, and my passion was contribution. I wanted to contribute to others, and I wanted to coach people. I wanted to share what I've done, what I did in September, just a couple of months ago. I changed my New Rich Life Coach YouTube channel from not just personal development and self-improvement. It was Amazon mastery. It was peak performance. It was real results. Amazon OA mastery. And that's what I did. It was about sharing my experience, sharing what I'm doing. And that's how I started to attract maybe you, how you've come into watching this. That was it, guys. Honestly, like, I started getting myself some really nice messages saying, wow, this is amazing. What an inspirational story. And I found myself getting coaching requests. If you go to newrichlifecoach.com/coaching, people are starting to request coaching. And I'm really proud that I'm now making a difference in my coaching clients, which I'll start to have I'm really starting to get some good progress with them. Like, I can't describe how much of a difference life is when you're contributing and sharing your experience with others and you're seeing their world light up. It was so amazing. And I'm so proud and privileged to still do this, and I won't ever stop, whether my subscribers drop to 0 or whether they go up to 100, 200, 1,000, 10,000, whatever the case might be, I won't ever stop. Because momentum, peak performance momentum, I was like, guys, I can't describe to you the excitement. And it was real. I'm really starting to see the results of all the work I've done over the last 9 months of 2016. It really started to kick off. Q4 sales were starting to obliterate last year while I was still working. And I was working full time then, and now I'm sat here and my sales are obliterating last year. And I'm starting to share these things with you guys, doing daily vlog or like a vlog, or do a behind the scenes video like you guys have most likely watched. And then that was it. October, I announced Online Arbitrage Mastery, teaching my experience, which I've just launched this past weekend. And it's really going through everything that I've just said in this video. It really is sharing my entire experience, and I've set the foundations now. I've got some amazing foundations to share, which I'm really, really proud of. And I'm just working on, after this video, I'm coding, I'm recording more business ownership training, which will allow me to be here, talk to you guys, while I've got my warehouse operating, I've got my online virtual assistant team, I've got purchasing being done, I've got Amazon, the orders being fulfilled. I am free, guys. I'm teaching my experience. So I want to invite you to join Online Arbitrage Mastery. I can't stress enough that this course has changed my life. This information has changed my life. No matter where you're from, US or UK, the principles of the checklist, of the proven step-by-step formula works. It works, guys. And I'm not just saying it because I'm selling a course. It works because I have family members that have also come on to this. I've taught them, I've coached them, and they are now... My brother-in-law, he's quit his job. He's just quit his job. It's very, very real, guys. And I want to offer you to get in now. Get in now. Get into the Facebook group. Get into the mastermind group. Get into the Online Arbitrage Mastery course, because it is growing every single day. More and more things are going into it. And I don't like to beat this around the bush too much, but the cost will go up without a shadow of a doubt, because this has been worth my entire life. This has transformed my life. So why would I not want to chat? You know, what are people willing to pay for it? I try to say it as, if I'm trying to say to you, this can get you out of your job, but it's only going to cost £10, $10, you guys are going to say, are you for real? That's the reality of it. You guys are going to go, are you for real? It doesn't match. So what I'm saying is, this is going to get you out of your jobs. What are you willing to pay for it? What is that worth to you? Are you on $20,000, £20,000 per year, whatever the case might be? What is it worth to you? It's got to be in comparison. It got me, being fully transparent, this got me out of £38,000 job a year in the UK here as an electrical engineer. I was actually breaching 40k when I actually ended up handing my notice in, and that's because I was scaling up the 20. You know, if I could make £20,000 sales in a month, why would I stay in a job that's getting me 38,000 in a year? I'm just not. So I'm now teaching my experience, guys, and I want to invite you again to Online Arbitrage Mastery, and that's my story. I want to thank you guys for anybody that's decided to watch it up to this point. I want to, please let me know. Just like the video, give me a thumbs up. I really, really appreciate it. Comment below. Let me know if you've got any questions. Please subscribe. And that's my journey, guys. That is my journey from 18 months ago to now. I wish you all the best in the world. I can't wait to see you in the course. And that was me signing out. So Thanks very much, guys. I have no idea how long this video is. It might be an hour for all I know right now, but I'm now going to listen to some music, jump up and down, and get myself all in peak state to crack on and build on this journey. If you want to know anything more about me and my journey, I've shared everything there. But if you want any more specific details, just go to newrichlifecoach.com/Amazon and it'll all be there. See you in the next video.